Hello, today I'll be showing you my CD collection for Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. So yeah, in a couple days I'm gonna go see Iron Maiden live, and I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be my first time seeing them. Trivium is the opener for the show, and I love both bands, so yeah, again, really looking forward to the show. But yeah, let's go ahead and move to my Iron Maiden CDs. So, of course, it all started with this album right here, their self-titled debut. And then we got Killers, the final album with Paul Di'Anno. And then we got Number of the Beast, which is probably my third favorite album by them. And then we got Peace of Mind. Then we move to my second favorite Iron Maiden album, Power Slave. And then we got Live After Death. And then we got Somewhere in Time. Then we get to my favorite Iron Maiden album, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Then we move to an album that's often considered one of their weakest, if not their weakest, and that is No Prayer for the Dying. I definitely disagree that it's the weakest. I think they've done worse than this, and overall, I think the album's actually kind of decent. I think there's some pretty good stuff like Tail Gunner, The Assassin, and Run Silent, Run Deep, just to name a few songs. But yeah, decent album, but of course, definitely not one of their best. Then we move to Fear of the Dark, which is an album that I think has some pretty good deep cuts. You got such as Childhood's End, Chains of Misery, and Judas Be My Guide. But yeah, pretty solid album from Iron Maiden. And then we move to The X Factor, and yeah, first album with Blaze Bayley. And I actually like this album. Definitely the better one of the two albums they did with Blaze, in my opinion. And yeah, this album is a bit different. It's slower and also darker, but again, I actually dig the album a little bit. Now, not one of their best, but still, you get some pretty good songs like Sign of the Cross, Lord of the Flies, Man on the Edge, Judgment of Heaven. I also dig the album closer, The Unbeliever, but yeah, overall, a good album from Iron Maiden. And I actually don't mind Blaze Bayley's vocals on that album either. But next we have Best of the Beast, which is a compilation. Then you move to, in my opinion, probably their worst album, and that is Virtual 11. Future Real, I'll be honest, is probably the only song that I return to from the album nowadays. I know some people really dig The Klansman, and that's the one other song on the album that I do like. It's just, in general, not really a song that I go back to very much. But again, I do like The Klansman, but Future Real for me is probably the strongest song on the album. And then we move to a CD single, and it is The Wicker Man. And this is the limited edition clear CD. Clear CDs being something that you don't really see every day, but that's what the CD looks like. But yeah, pretty cool. And then Bruce Dickinson comes back with this album, Brave New World. Maybe one of the best comeback albums in the world of metal. I mean, I think this album really is that strong. Many great songs like The Wicker Man, Ghost of the Navigator. I do enjoy the title track, probably one of the best songs on here, I'd say. I also enjoy The Mercenary and The Fallen Angel, Out of the Silent Planet. Still, pretty strong album from Iron Maiden. Then you move to a compilation called Edward the Great. Greatest Hits. Then we got Dance of Death. And then we got A Matter of Life and Death. Somewhere Back in Time, which is a compilation, the best of 1980 to 1989. Then we get to Flight 666, the original soundtrack. Then we get to, in my opinion, one of their weakest, and that is The Final Frontier. For me, this album is kind of a snoozer. I mean, it does have its good moments, but for me, easily one of their weakest. And then you move to The Book of Souls. Then you move to the final CD here I got for Iron Maiden, and also their latest album, Senjutsu. But yeah, that's it for Iron Maiden. Let's go ahead and move on to Judas Priest with their debut album, Rock'n'Rolla. And we got Sad Wings of Destiny. Sin After Sin. Stained Glass. We got Hell Bent for Leather. And then we got Killing Machine. So yeah, I got both versions. And then we got Unleashed in the East. And then we got British Steel. Point of Entry. And then maybe my favorite Judas Priest album, Screaming for Vengeance. Defenders of the Faith. Turbo. Priest Live. Ram It Down. Painkiller. And then Metal Works 73 to 93, which is a compilation. And then we got another compilation, Prisoners of Pain. Then we got Jugulator, the first album with Tim Ripper Owens. And I actually like this album. Definitely the best of the two albums they did with him. And then we move to, in my opinion, easily their worst album, Demolition. And this is a promotional CD, a promotional copy. But I mean, I like Machine Man and One on One. The rest of the album for me is all really not that great. I mean, you have the song Metal Messiah, which you can tell they saw what was going on with nu metal and decided to infuse that into this song a little bit. But yeah, easily their worst. But again, at least it has a couple songs that I don't mind. And then Rob Halford comes back with this album, Angel of Retribution. And this is the dual disc CD, the dual disc version. Then my second least favorite Judas Priest album, Nostradamus. I rarely ever return to anything off this album. I mean, and I'll admit, I've never sat through the whole thing. I don't know if I ever will. It's just, these songs for me are just not very interesting to me. But maybe at some point I'll get around to checking out the whole album. But I've only heard some of it, and that was just enough for me. But then we got Single Cuts. And then we got Redeemer of Souls. And the Central Judas Priest. And finally, the last CD here, Firepower, which I think is their best since maybe Painkiller. But anyways, those are all. That's my CD collection for Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. Let me know your thoughts on my CD collection for these bands. Do you have the same CDs as me? Let me know what you got. And not just CDs, whether you got like cassettes or vinyl or just CDs. Let me know what you have, and let me know some of your favorite or least favorite Priest or Maiden albums and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like. Subscribe. Have a nice day, and take care.